here's my starting point. We've got a sheet of 1/2 inch OSB, a sheet of 3/4 inch OSB, and a sheet of 1/4 inch thin plywood. Here's my wood stock. 3 1x6s, 2 4x4s, 10 2x4s, and some 2x3s for filling in cheap stuff. So that's the basics. Okay, so I ripped the shelf plywood in half. These are the long runs for the shelf, and there's the short ones for the shelf to go between them. So that's all ready to go. And here are the 4 long pieces for the tabletop, and there's the ones that go in between them, 8 of them. The way I did it all is I used the chop saw and my block on the floor and cut all the big stuff, and then I brought it up on top of this table for the rest of the small cuts, and I got a bunch of angle cuts to make later to reinforce the shelf. Those I can do all up here. So now I'm going to rearrange the sawhorses I brought to make myself a work surface in the garage to build all of the shelving, and then I'll use the shelving as a work surface to build the tabletop. So I'll come back when that's all in place. So here's my niece Taylor, who we're building the table for. Hey Bug, her nickname's Bug. So she's doing all the markings for all of the 3-inch screws to hold the tabletop pieces together. Need some good accurate marking on that. As far as me, I am building the 2 shelves. So I built it like this. These are 2x3s, and then I'm going to flip it upside down and attach the long rails. I'm going to do that twice. You can see I got a nice workbench, 3/4 inch top on top of the sawhorses. We've got the 2 4x4 legs supporting it. So I have a nice stable and sturdy workbench to build the rest of this on top. No more bending. Okay, so we got the shelf number 1 complete. And there's shelf number 2 complete. So I built it right side up to get the stringers left to right installed, all 5 of them, and then I flipped it upside down and put the long rails on so that the top would be flush with the top of the rail. And then we'll flip it back up for install. Now we're going to put the 2 halves of the top frame together. Okay, so now we used our table to put together the 2 halves of the top frame. There's the first one and the second one. And these corners are to reinforce the legs, and I put some blocking in there just to make it a little more rigid and give the top something else to attach to. So now that we have the tops put together, we put them on basically right side up. We built them upside down. And what Taylor's doing is she's actually using a Sharpie, and she's drawing outlines. And so when we take these pieces off, we can pre-drill all the holes for the screws to screw the top down. We also marked the center line to cut the plywood in half. And the reason we're doing that is in case we ever want to take this train set out of the basement. This thing probably weighs like 100 pounds, just the top and the wood. It'd be really hard to get out of a basement, but if you can take it into 2 pieces, it's doable. So I'm building the whole thing with the intention that someday we might have to actually take it out of the basement. So now that we have all of the lines marked out, I put dots, and my wonderful niece, Bug, is drilling all the holes. So go ahead, Bug. Keep going. She's almost done. What we're doing is we're pre-drilling all the holes. These holes will hold the top down. We're trying to keep from making a giant mess in the basement where this is going. So now that we have all the holes drilled out, I split the 3/4 inch OSB in half, and then I split the 1/4 inch good plywood in half so we can carry it down the steps because it's too big and heavy the way it was. So after we took everything downstairs, I cut on the floor the 2 4x4s. This particular table will be 28 inches plus the height of the top. That's what she wanted. She's short. So you can see all the basic building blocks here. And it will be going so this here will be the basic site. She has a large basement bedroom and it needs a train table. So we've attached the two pieces together, and then we went and pre-drilled the holes and then preset 4-inch screws, 2 on each side for the 4x4 legs. So that's all ready to receive the bottom base. So now we're going to push that aside and build the bottom base. So now the top is assembled, we pushed it off to the side. We marked our 4x4s and we're building the base shelves. So we've attached 2 to the legs like this, making sure that it is square and plumb with a framing square. Okay, now that we've built that, keep in mind it's upside down. We got all 4 legs attached. Now we flip the top back down. Keep in mind it's upside down. We're going to lift that into place and then we're going to attach the 2. Okay, so now that we have it attached, now we're going to flip it over and put the top on. If it wasn't already ridiculously heavy, now it's going to be ridiculously heavy. This plywood is not light. So the way we attached it, we used 2 4-inch screws in each of the 2 sides. This thing's pretty sturdy. Okay, now that we got the table flipped over, we put the top on and we screwed it down with about 9 bajillion screws. And now we're going to put glue all over it and glue the thin 1/4-inch layer on top. So you can see we just shot glue all over the 2 pieces. Remember, you can never have enough glue. Bug spreading it all over, and then we're going to flip it on and clamp it down, throw a bunch of weight on it. So now that we got it all glued down, we put a bunch of weight on it, and that's as far as I can go today. Tomorrow we'll put the rim on it, and that'll be that. What do you think, Bug?
Yeah.
You like it?
I love it.
All right, cool. Okay, so with the last 2x4, I built this tray, it's upside down, of the last of the 2x3, if that was any good, last of the 2x4, some 1x3 trim, and a strip of plywood that I cut off the end of the plywood for the shelving. So that's all the scrap I had of plywood, so that's pretty decent. So I'm gonna turn this right side up. This will be the shelf for the train controllers. It's giant, so she can have quite a few. So. Okay, so we cut the 2 short ends to length. Remember, it's 1.5 inches wider because of these long pieces. So these are going to go all the way around the edge to dress it up and to create a lip so stuff doesn't fall off the table. So as you can see, we measured and pre-drilled all the holes for all the mounting screws, including the board connectors. The reason for that is we wanted to look visually appealing, and that means symmetrical screw placement. Plus, it just makes install easier, to be honest. So we're gonna go ahead and put those on now. So to give you guys a shot underneath, we left it off the floor a couple inches. The shelves are for storage, but they're also for strength. I don't want the train table moving. You can see how that blocking for each of the legs came out. You see how thick the edge is too. It's very sturdy. The train table that holds the controls is just a 2x4 screwed into the rim joist, and then a couple more along one of the support table supports. But it's all framed out. I bet you could stand on it. And so from the top side, here's what the final product looks like. It looks like a pool table, doesn't it? You can see there's a lip all the way around, 7 inches back, so you can run wiring without having to climb up on the shelves and be in an awkward position. You can cut a hole through this and run tracks down underneath if you want. We can remove a shelf, we can change anything we want. We intentionally cut the edge support here short so it'd be easy to screw into the 4x4. And then here I just used all the scrap. All I had to buy was a 1x3. And here is a tray here for all of your train controllers and transformers. So here's all the scrap that's going to get tossed in the trash. You can see there's not much. You can see in the back of the van almost everything's less than 2 foot except this one 2x3. I also have the little 4x4s underneath there, but again.